Welcome to part 3. Let's dive in. John is taken up into heaven. He is shown the throne room, and he's going to tell us now that the cosmic battle on earth, where Satan is dumping on people on planet earth, there's a cosmic battle going up in heaven. So chapter 4 and chapter 5 will give us the throne room with God sitting on the throne. And we saw last time that his throne is embraced and surrounded by a rainbow. He rules on the basis of peace. And then we saw there are 24 other thrones surrounding his throne. He's not a dictator. He shares his rule. He's not a dictator and he's not violent. Satan is the dictator and he is violent. And that's what we're going to see in the book of Revelation. So the 24 elders are presented around the throne of God, and look what they're doing in verses 6 to 8, English Standard Version. Here is the first part of this 5-part worship scene, chapters 4 and 5. Look at a story unfold in between this one unfolding worship scene, because it tells us what the book of Revelation is all about. 6 to 8. And around the throne, on each side of the throne, are 4 living creatures, full of eyes in the front and behind. And the 4 living creatures, each of them had 6 wings and full of eyes, and around and within, and day and night they never cease to say, Holy, holy, holy is Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. One seated on the throne, 24 elders sitting around. God shares the throne of peace and non-violence. And now the 4 living creatures come in. They're saying, holy, holy, holy. Everything is peaceful in heaven. And now the scene will change. You've got 24 elders now joined by 4 living creatures. You'll see concentric circles of expanding worship in heaven. And now we read in verses 9 to 11 the following. The storyline will begin. And whenever the living creatures give glory and honor and thanks to him who is seated on the throne, this is the issue, the rule of God, who lives forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down before him who is seated on the throne. See, they're all worshipping. And worship him who lives forever and ever. And they cast down their crowns before the throne, saying, Worthy are you. And this is the main word. Worthy are you, O Lord and God, to receive glory and honor and power. Why are you worthy to sit on the throne and rule? Because for you created all things. You are worthy to be worshipped and rule on the throne because you are the Creator. The worthiness of God to rule is rooted in creation. As we move into chapter 5, the worship scene stops. We've got the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders saying, Worthy, 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 because you are the Creator. That's what gives you your right to rule. You are Creator. You're a God of peace. You share and you're Creator. And now the worship scene stops abruptly in chapter 5. And we have a heavenly crisis, which is reflected to the crisis on earth. Let's move over into chapter 5. Remember, God is worthy. The worthiness of God now will be questioned. His right to rule, his worthiness will now be doubted and questioned and challenged. Who did this? Who challenges the worthiness? We're going to see it's the devil. Places question on the worthiness of the one seated on the throne. Chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. English Standard Version. Then I saw in the right hand of him who was seated on the throne. Something's in God's right hand. So what? Watch. This book in God's right hand, and in fact it doesn't say right hand, we will get to that in a minute, but for now let's just say it's in his right hand. It says, actually the Greek says it's at his right hand side. It's actually not in his hand. It's not in his right hand, it's at his right hand. We'll get to that, but for now a book appears in connection with God, and there's a crisis of worthiness in the heavenly throne room. Then I saw in the right hand, or at the right hand, of him who was seated on the throne, a scroll written within and on the back, and it's sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a mighty angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the scroll and to break its seals?" Well, hello. Who is worthy? God is worthy in chapter 4. Now, God is not even worthy to open up the scroll. He didn't say who is worthy to open the scroll, but God can. And John's going to make it really clear that the crisis in heaven has got to do with God's worthiness on the throne to open up that scroll. We've gone from worthiness of the one on the throne, that now the one on the throne, not even he is worthy, and he's going to make it very, very clear. Have a look at verse 3. Verse 2 and verse 3. So we get it. And I saw a mighty angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the scroll and break its seals?" And no one in heaven, no one in heaven, no one in heaven, or on earth or under the earth, was able, worthy, to open the scroll or to look into it. We have gone from worthiness to a worthiness crisis that challenges God. He is not even worthy. No one in heaven. Do you say no one in heaven except God? The worthiness of the one seated on the throne is challenged. Who challenged it? Will it be resolved? And how is this worthiness deficit of one seated on the throne connected to the battles on earth? And this is what the rest of the book of Revelation is about. And let's finish this one with verse 4. Look at John's reaction. And I, John, began to weep loudly because no one was found worthy to open the scroll or to look into it. He was worthy in chapter 4 based on creator, peaceful, shares rulership. And now not even God is worthy and is connected to this scroll that's locked up at his right hand side. And John's crying uncontrollably. The worship scene of chapter 4 has now stopped. We have a worthiness crisis directly aimed at the one seated on the throne. We have moved from crisis on earth to crisis in heaven. They're both connected. More next time.